It's June 27th, and I need to read these 4 books by the end of June, in 3 days.
My little Milky Way, shining where the dark can't stay. Don't say much, I hear you in the quiet and you.
Okay, so not to be dramatic or anything, but I have less than 3 days to read 4 books. What am I going to do? You're wondering why? It's because there is this Goodreads challenge. So they have the Goodreads challenge for your year, which is your total amount of books that you want to get read for the year. And then there's a monthly challenge where they want you to read 1 or 2 books a month, I think. And then there's a quarterly or seasonal challenge where they have different challenges and different selections of books for you to achieve that challenge. And I think there's like 9. I think there's 9 challenges. I have never completed all of the challenges for this season. And this season, I am only 5 challenges away. I need 5 more little bookmarks in order to complete the challenge. And I really, really, really want to get it done. So I had 5 books, but I've been able to get it down to 4 because one book I'm able to double up for 2 different challenges for. And then the other book, I wasn't going to be able to get the audiobook in time. So this is actually take 2. I already recorded this, but for some reason it did not record it the first time. So I'm sorry if I skip over anything, if I skim over anything. It's because I already said it in that other video and I honestly can't remember everything I said. All that to say, I had completely filmed that. I chose my next book. I did use a spinner wheel because I wasn't sure how I was going to choose my next book between these 4. And spoiler alert, I know what book I'm reading first. Anyway, I don't remember exactly which challenges are which, so they will be across the bottom as I talk about the books I'm going to be reading. So the first book I have is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This is a book on my physical TBR that I have been wanting to read for quite some time. I've always heard very interesting things about it, and we are getting the adaptation in October, and I would like to read this before that comes out. It'll actually be the first Colleen Hoover book I have ever read, and the first of the adaptations I will have read. So I'm really excited about this. Knowing that Josh Hartnett is in it, I know I'm going to want to watch it. I'm not going to want to miss out because I have missed out on the other, 3 adaptations. So I really want to get this one read. Then I have The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, and this is going to be my double up book. I believe the 2 challenges I can use this one for are books about books and escape reads or something like that. So thankfully, this book is going to come in clutch for those. And it is a book that I have been wanting to read for quite some time. So it really does work out. I've had it out from the library for a little while, but I just got the audiobook. So I want to get this one read pretty quickly as well. And I'm not going to be going into the synopses for any of these books at this point. I'm sure I'll discuss them when I have my updates and let you know like what it's about or whatever, because I may not read all of these books. So I don't want to go into them too much just in case I don't finish them all. Then my library had Dear Debbie just available, so I went ahead and picked this one up. Again, I don't remember which one this was for. It will be on the screen now. I love Frida McFadden. This is on my TBR of books that I want to read. It's fairly new. I'm pretty sure this one came out a couple months ago, so I'm pretty excited to read this one. And then lastly, I have Home Seeking by Carissa Chen, another book I'm really excited to read. I did want to get to this one last month, but I just ran out of time. I also was able to pick up the physical copy to purchase from my library, their little library store, and I ended up not getting my hands on this until towards the end of May anyway, but I'm excited to read it now. And as fate would have it, I'm actually going to be picking this book up first. It is the longest book. I believe this is for the marathon challenge because it's over 400 pages, I'm pretty sure. This one, since I know for sure I'm going to get into this one, I will read you guys a little bit of the synopsis. It says, a single choice can define an entire life. Ewan is buying bananas at a 99 Ranch Market in Los Angeles when he looks up and sees Suchi, his Suchi, for the first time in 60 years. Recently widowed Haiwen, it feels like a second chance, but Suchi has only survived by refusing to look back. Suchi was 7 when she first met Haiwen in their Shanghai neighborhood, drawn by the sound of his violin. Their childhood friendship blossomed into soul-deep love, but when Haiwen secretly enlisted in the Nationalist Army in 1947 to save his brother from the draft, she was left with just his violin and a note, "Forgive me." Homeseeking follows the separated lovers through 6 decades of tumultuous Chinese history as war, famine, and opportunity take them separately to the song halls of Hong Kong, military encampments of Taiwan, the bustling streets of New York, and sunny California, telling Haiwen's story from the present to the past while tracing Suchi's from her childhood to the present, meeting in the crucible of their lives. Throughout, Haiwen holds his memories close while Suchi forces herself to look only forward, neither losing sight of the home they hold in their hearts. At once epic and intimate, Homeseeking is a story of family, sacrifice, and loyalty, and of the power of love to endure beyond distance, beyond time. So I'm pretty sure this one is a literary fiction or like a general fiction. I'm not sure. Obviously, it's going to be taking place during World War II and present day. I'm sure present day is like the 2020s or somewhere around there. Yeah, this one was published in 2025, so I'm sure it's going to take place partly in the 2020s. I am pretty interested. I've been interested in this one for a while, since last year, since I saw it was going to get published. I think it was even on a anticipated reads for me last year, so I'm really excited to not only get to read it but to own it. I don't love that I'm going to be reading it first since it's the longest book, but that could work in my favor. Since it's the longest book, I'll get it out of the way and get on to the shorter reads. So without further ado, I'm going to start reading it, and I will see you in my next update where I'm going to tell you about it, I guess. If this seems like something you're going to enjoy, I would love if you would subscribe and stick around for more videos. I'm just trying to carve out my little spot in the booktube universe. Yeah, if you could give me a thumbs up and hype the video if you can and help me out with the algorithm, that would also be great. And yeah, without further ado, we're going to move on to Future Lily, who's, I'm sure, going to have some updates for you about Homeseeking. Oh my gosh, it's a million freaking degrees outside. Anyway, I wanted to come on and just give you a little update because I'm about 75% of the way through Homeseeking, and today is the 29th. So if you're doing your math, I shouldn't even be filming this video because it's taking away time for me to read. I still need to read 3 books by the end of the day tomorrow. Can I do it? I'm hoping yes, because they're shorter and 2 of them are thrillers. I think Verity is considered a thriller, right? Dear Debbie, I know for sure is a thriller. I'll probably be able to speed through that really quickly. The Everlasting is also a fairly short book, but I think the audiobook is like 12 hours, so we'll have to see about that. I'm just going to continue spinning with the wheel, so we'll see what the wheel brings me next. But in the meantime, Homeseeking. This is a story, honestly, reminds me a little bit of The Notebook, and there's another story that this reminds me of as well. We are following Haiwen and Suchi. So I know I gave the synopsis, and it basically already said all this, but I'm just gonna recap it for you. So we are getting snippets from different points in time. So like one will be 1947, like January 1947, and then the next chapter is April 1994, something like that. So I think the latest that it is going is 2008. I thought it would be a little bit more recent than that, but I'll have to see. So far, the latest one I've gotten is 2008, I think. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not paying super attention to like the actual dates, especially like the more current, like from the 90s and stuff, because I'm just really invested in this freaking story. Like, in the first few chapters, I wasn't sure about it. I was like, we'll see. But I fully went into it knowing that I was going to give it a go for a few reasons. One, I was very intrigued by the premise, and 2, I really wanted to read this book for a while now. Like I said, over a year at this point. And I have already had moments where I'm just like, wow. Like, I have been tabbing it. I didn't start until about 20 or 30% of the way through. I don't know, because I initially didn't think I was going to tab it. And then I just started reading more. I was like, yeah, I want to tab this. I really want to annotate this book. So I may go back and read the first portion after I finish all these books and just see if there was anything of note. It's not like I'm tabbing constantly. And obviously not every page is going to be noteworthy, but there are quite a few things that I just want to like point out to myself, remind myself of. So, like I said, we are following Hywin and Suchi and their kind of their families, but mainly them. And it's just like their journey through time and the one that got away, basically. So as Haiwen and Suchi are growing up, they obviously live in the same area. They do go to two different schools, but they live in the same, I think it's called Longtang, which is like a neighborhood. They spend a lot of time together and they actually end up becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. And there's a little bit of, because Suchi's family is not as high status as Haiwen's is, so there's like a little bit of a class issue happening, and Suchi's family, her parents, think that maybe Haiwen won't marry her because of that. They feel like maybe she's not bringing anything to the table for them, that kind of thing. And so we're following them through like adolescence, young adulthood, and even later in their years after they've had families and grandchildren and stuff. And I don't think any of this is a spoiler because it's kind of alluded to in the synopsis that they have been separated for some time and are, they don't get married, at least not where I am now. They're not married to each other, they're married to different people. So we find out what happened for them to get separated so young. We find out, just what war costs the everyday people. Because throughout this time, especially in the younger years, we are seeing like when the Japanese were occupying Hong Kong, Shanghai, all of that, and parts of China, we're seeing those effects. But we're also seeing the effects of like communism and how dangerous communism is. This is honestly, I think if nothing else, this is a great insight into the way communism corrupts and how people are corrupted and may start out with these grand ideas, but power corrupts, and these types of governments are almost always corrupt. They're almost always run by people who pretend they want what's best, and in the end, all they want is what's best for themselves. So it's very interesting. I can't even explain to you why it's interesting, because by all accounts with my reading taste, I shouldn't enjoy this because it's kind of like a day in the life situation, but there's also a lot happening. Like we are going through all of these things and it's like there's nothing happening and then there's so much happening at the same time. Like it's we are going through wars. We are going through people being separated from their families. We are going through people being made to turn on their families. People coming to the US, being separated from their culture, their language, like being looked down upon. It's so all encompassing of what they have gone through and what the people of this time, I'm sure, have gone through. I don't personally know anybody, from Hong Kong or anything like that who lived through these times, or, anyone from Taiwan or anything like that. So I can only understand from like a secondhand perspective, just based on what I've been reading. Also, my own knowledge and things that I have looked up and researched. I can understand that this was a very hard time. It was very dangerous. It was very difficult to even exist without feeling like you constantly had to prove yourself. And they do touch on that a little bit. It's very sad so far. Like overall, it's really sad because you see what war costs a family and what loyalty means and the price of loyalty. You know, Families are torn apart, separated for years, if ever brought back together to reconcile. Um, they're denouncing each other, calling each other traitors, your neighbors turning you in. It's very scary times. And then to go from something like that to having everything at your fingertips, whether you are part of the communist regime or you have fled to another country, and just having different advantages, it's such a huge juxtaposition. And then to come back into it, because obviously we're going back and forth in time. One chapter is set in one time period and another chapter is set in another time period. And this is all taking place throughout their lifetime. It's it's hard. Like there's funny moments and there's lighthearted moments, but it is kind of hard to read. It's pretty sad. There are some really heartbreaking parts. Really heartbreaking. So far, I am really enjoying it and I desperately want to finish it. So I'm gonna leave you there. I know I didn't really tell you much. But it's hard to talk about too much because I don't want to spoil anything. And the synopsis is pretty thorough in giving a good explanation. Like I said, we're basically just following Suchi and Haiwen and finding out, what's been going on throughout their whole lifetime. So I will update you guys again once I have finished the book. I might record reading the last little bit because I have a feeling that this book is going to, I'm hoping. I have said this so many times recently and been so let down, but I feel like because there's already been points where I'm like, oh, like I'm really hopeful that this one is gonna get to me. But now that I've said that, of course, it probably won't. So we'll just have to see. Next thing you see will either be me reading the last little bit of the book or letting you know that I finished it. Well, I'm back and I have finished Homeseeking. And it was pretty heartbreaking. I didn't full on cry or sob, but I did tear up, especially at the end. There are so many beautiful things and so many heartbreaking things about this book. And it's just one of those books that uh, it just leaves an impact on you. So this is obviously 5 stars. This is just wow. Wow. This was really great. For being almost 500 pages. I can't believe how much I loved this book. Like, I did a decent amount of tabbing. Like I said, the first 30% I didn't tab. I didn't think I was going to tab this. Honestly, I did not go into it thinking I was going to annotate anything. And now I'm just like, I wish I had more time to annotate it even deeper. But I definitely feel like this is a book that I will reread because it's just one of those stories. Like for me, okay, like Memoirs of a Geisha. The book is great, the movie is great, and the movie is one that I rewatch periodically. And I feel like a good book can be the same. So I definitely foresee myself rereading this in the future. Just the historical information and jumping off points when it comes to like the Chinese Civil War, World War II, the Nationalist Party, the Communist Party, like just all of the things going on in there, the huge red flag for communism, um, the heartbreaking separation that these people have gone through. And it's not like, okay, maybe these specific stories are not like, exact, but this is real. Like, this really happened. Things were really crazy like this. People really were separated from their families for decades, if not forever, never seeing them again. And it is extremely heartbreaking to know that this is a real part of history. And it's one that I feel like is not, especially in American schools, it's not really discussed at length, if at all. And I find that a lot. Even taking a world history class, it's not something that's really discussed. Like, you spend all this time on World War II and never, eh, even World War One, you spend some time on, but there's so many gaps. There's so many gaps in history that you're not taught. Like, so much of it you have to seek out on your own. But this was wonderful. I feel like the ending was so sad. It was really sad. and heartbreaking. And I think especially if you're a mother, this will hit you hard. If you've lost parents, if you've, ever like gone through a situation where you were separated from your family, things like that, this will be not only relatable but very hard hitting. Um, I think this is a great book. I'm at a loss for words because it's really great. I feel like the pacing was actually quite even. At no point did I feel like, oh, this is dragging. Like in the beginning, the first few chapters, I wasn't sure if it was for me, but not because of the pacing, just because I wasn't sure if I was really going to get into it. And then the more I kept reading, I was just sucked in. I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know what was happening. I love the way this story was told, how we alternated timelines. I thought that was great. That was a great way to present the story. It was not disjointed. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. I thought that was a really great way to bring the story across. Yeah, the writing was so well done. This is a beautiful book. This is Especially if you love historical fiction, I would highly recommend this. But if you love learning about Asian culture, Asian history, you like stories that are really centered around family and what it means to be a family and, trying to save your family and stuff like that. If you enjoy things about World War II or that time period, yeah, I could see a lot of people loving this book. And I am so grateful that I was able to buy it and that I physically own this book because that is just amazing. I need a minute. Okay, so I am going to choose my next read now using the spinner wheel. I'm going to shuffle it a few times. And let's give it a spin. Let's see what we're going to get. I hope it's the Everlasting because that's what I want to read next. And looks like that's what it's going to be. Okay, great. So we're going to read The Everlasting. Next up is going to be The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. I have been wanting to read this for quite some time. This is the one I have out checked from the library, and it is going to be a double up for me. I have read Alex E. Harrow's novellas at this point, but I haven't read anything else. Let's see. A legend. Sir Una Everlasting was history's greatest hero, a lost girl who would draw a sword from the heartwood and become a legend. The knight's epic feats were rivaled only by her tragic fate, a sacrifice that saved a queen and built an empire. A lie. Centuries later, Owen Mallory has dedicated his life to Una Everlasting, abandoning a promising scholarly career to defend his country. He comes home from war broken and weary until he finds a reason to live in the pages of a mysterious book. A love story. Sent back through time, the historian's task is to ensure that Sir Una meets her tragic fate, but instead Owen falls in love with the complex woman behind the legend. He doesn't know how to watch her die, or how many times he's done it before. To rewrite Una's legend, they'll have to rewrite history itself. Ooh, okay, I did not know this was a romance. Also, I really wanted to read this one next because Illumicrate is releasing a special edition, and if I like it, I'm gonna want to grab it. I really hope I like this, and I need to get it read like ASAP. And then I have 2 thrillers after this, so I'm hoping against hope at this point, but the only way I'm going to be able to get it done is if I stop talking to you. So I'm going to go, I'm going to read this, and I will check in with you somewhere around the halfway point, or maybe I'll be done. I don't know. I hope I don't DNF it, but I'll see you soon. notice that the 4th of July has passed, which probably means maybe I didn't complete this challenge. You would be correct. On the 30th, I was only about halfway through the Everlasting. I'm still only about halfway through, simply because now other things are going on and I need to put a pause on this vlog and do some other things. So I'm coming to update you to say I am going to go ahead and finish this vlog with reading the last 3 books because I've technically only read 1 book so far. So I am going to finish up The Everlasting, and then I'm also going to read Dear Debbie and Verity in this vlog. That will be coming soon, but there's probably going to be a significant time jump. Like, for example, today is the 8th of July at this point because I've been prioritizing other things that need to get read. So this vlog is going to go up later because I do want to go ahead and film a little Summerween vlog, which you will have seen before you'll see this one. So there's going to be a good time jump, like I said, and then I will come back and hopefully have finished The Everlasting and then get started on Dear Debbie and Verity. But I did, in fact, fail the challenge, so I did not receive my last 5 little bookmarks. Womp womp. But still going to read the books anyway because they are books that I really want to read. So for me, it's probably going to be a few days. For you, it's going to be a few seconds, and I'll see you then. Okay, guys, this is a little bit different. We are working with this today. This closet is just an absolute mess. So I'm going to try and organize it, and I'm going to put in a little bit of B-roll of me organizing it. Wish me luck. I don't think I'm going to get through it all today because it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I will have a little bit of time to do it. But I thought I would share, and we can see how far I get in the progress today. Okay, no idea where my microphone is right now, so I'm sorry I can't be bothered to find it. It is almost 80 degrees in here and I want to get out of here. So this is what we're ending with. It's still messy, but I can actually get to it now. Like I can walk right up to the closet, which is great. And yeah, I just have like some extra things up here. This is some letters, extra like Christmas gifts and stuff, and old laptops that either we need to fix or get rid of. Some extra things like I have our flying lanterns for, we used to set them off for New Year's. I have a couple of waist trainers, an extra bag, some tie-dye stuff, and then this is just like my prom dress from my junior prom. It's my favorite prom dress that my mom made. And then like this little jellyfish thing that I don't have anything in it right now. And then this closet just houses my daughter's jackets and my jackets. Obviously I have more jackets than she does, but I have a lot of sweaters and hoodies and stuff, so I just like to hang them up in here so they're easy to access. And then she just has her jackets. Obviously I don't buy her a ton of jackets because she is growing out of them. And then down here I just have in the back my wrapping paper. This is some extra yarn and clothes for my daughter. And then these are extra boxes for letters. Yes, I like to recycle shoe boxes and stuff. Right now I think they're good. And eventually I'm going to get like a big box, but right now we have shoe boxes. These are my husband's boots. And underneath that is a box of yarn. And obviously my daughter's ball. I don't think that's going to stay here. I have my tote bags and stuff, and then this, I need to go through this. But yeah, so right now this is how it's looking. and it's way better. A huge improvement from what it was. So yeah, I just thought I would break up this little vlog with some, I don't know, not really organizing, because it's really organized now, but it looks better than it did. All right, I have finally finished The Everlasting, and I am going to give it 4 stars. It's like around a 4.25 for me. It just wasn't a 5-star read. And I think part of that is my own fault. It did end up taking me even longer to finish this because I've been unwell the past couple of days. So I should have been able to finish it over the weekend, and unfortunately I couldn't. I have finished it now. Like I said, 4.25. I really did enjoy the story. I did feel like sometimes it was slow, and not just the time it took me to read it, but just like the story itself was kind of slow. And I did feel like there were some things that maybe could have been cut out that were just a little bit superfluous. Like we did kind of go back over some of the same things a lot as the story is repeating. And I feel like some of it could have been cut out. Like we don't have to keep going over the exact same plot points. This, I would say, is probably like my first real foray into fantasy, because I think this is considered fantasy, right? But this is the third book I have read by Alex E. Harrow, and I actually do really like her writing, so I think I am going to pick up The Starling House, because I know that's another one that was pretty popular, but also kind of got mixed reviews. This one, I feel like across the board, got really good reviews, and everyone I've talked to about this, like during the course of me reading it, was like, oh my god, you're going to love that book. I loved it so much, blah, blah, blah. And I was just kind of like, yeah, it's a good book, but not one that I need to own, not one that I would go out of my way to read again, anything like that. It's like, okay, I read it, cool. It's a cute little love story. I felt like it was super unique. The mechanics of the story, the way the story is told, and all of that, that was really good. I enjoyed the characters. There was a little bit of humor. There was some sadness. There, all a good mix of emotions, I would say. Nothing that like made me overly emotional, but it was a good story. There's not much else I can say about it. I'm pretty sure I read the synopsis in the beginning, and that's it. I don't want to give too much away about it. I did find out, because I will say one thing is our main character, Una, well, there's two main characters because there's like two narrators. One is being narrated by Owen, and one is being narrated by Una. And Una is not her real name. And I did love that at the end. So, like, throughout the whole book, every time her real name is mentioned, it's redacted. And I did love that at the end he does his little cipher and you can find out what her real name was. So that was fun. Aside from that, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So next up, I am gonna pick up Dear Debbie, because it's the last library book that I have for this challenge. However, I am in the middle of two other books. I just got an ARC on ALC from NetGalley for one of my favorite authors, her new release, that it's already available in paperback or hardback or whatever. It's already been released, but the audio hasn't been released yet. It won't be released until later this month. So I'm really wanting to get to that. I think it's going to be really thriller heavy. The rest of the vlogs that I have, or most of the vlogs probably for the rest of the month, for probably the foreseeable future, because I am also taking part in Pastel Bookshelf Carly's Summerween as well. Hers runs for the whole month. So we just went through with Gabby's Summerween, and now I'm going to finish out this month and begin next month with Carly's Summerween. So I'll probably do a vlog for that as well. But I am switching over into more thriller reads. I think that's everything I'm in the middle of. I think I have a couple of thrillers and a horror. However, also while that is happening, I have a stack of library books. I think I have like 6 books that are going to be due by the 25th. I need to get those read so that I can just return them and not have to recheck them out, because I've had them for like over a month at this point. I really would like to just finish them all. So I may do a video about that. Because I just want to get those read. I just want to let them be free and clear up, like, free up space in my own checkouts, because we can only get 20 and I have 20 and I would just like to let them go and be free. I also have some my husband checked out for me, so I think he only has one book left for me. But in any event, I have a lot of books out from the library and I want to read those down. And I'm pretty sure, let's see, today's the 14th. So, yeah, in 10 days, I should be able to read 6 books, especially because a couple of them are fairly short if I stop prioritizing other books. So, aside from updating you on The Everlasting, I do have a couple of book mail packages that came in that I thought I would share with you. So, first up, I already know what this is because it is a special order. I don't have their subscription anymore. I had the Probably Smut subscription for 1 month and I did not love the edition. I thought it was going to be more like, I don't know how to explain it. I thought it was going to be just a better special edition than it was. And I was like, I don't feel like I need to have this subscription. But I did see that they were going to be releasing this set of books, so I grabbed them. So let's open it up. Okay, and as you may have guessed, it is the Into Darkness trilogy. It says Unmask Your Next Book Boyfriend. Right, so they are in like this protective little like cloth bag, which I mean they were not like, it was really shoved in there and I don't love that, and I can already see that I have some damage on one of the books, so that's not great. I don't know if you can really see it. Yeah, you can see the corner is crushed, so I might talk to them about that because it's definitely a result of the way they package the books. Like, it was extremely hard to get them out. And my thing is, like, if it was just a regular book, like a normal edition, it wouldn't really matter that much. These are special editions, they're collectors. I mean, let's be real, I'm collecting it. So I'm paying more for the collectability of it, and receiving it damaged like this, that's not going to work for me. It's a collector's item. I expect to receive it in pristine condition. Wink, wink, hint, hint, fairy loot. I expect to receive my books in pristine condition, not damaged. Let's get on that. We have Lights Out. This is the one that I have read. On the back, it says, I didn't want him morally gray. I wanted someone with a soul black as night, which is a quote from the book. These aren't signed, and I don't think they have the extra chapter. I'll have to reference my original book, which I have. Okay, so now I have like 3 copies of this, and I'm going to have 4 when I get the Fairy Loot editions. I also have the Barnes& and Noble edition, which has the special extra chapter, so I'll have to double check and see if the epilogue in here is the chapter from that. These editions, they look really cool. I just wish they would have done more than just the covers. So this one is caught up. I haven't read this one yet. On the back it says, grab her hand in the streets and her hair in the sheets. I have all of the Barnes & Noble ones because they all have, like, they have edges, and also they all have an extra chapter. We have Game On. It says, I didn't want flowers and chocolate. I wanted a challenge. So here they are. And they all have a different animal on the spines, which is fun. I'm sure that has to do with something because I know, like, into Lights Out, that is Fred. So I think each one of them have a different animal. So yeah, I'm really happy with how they look. They did take quite a while. I'm just not loving that this is bent. So I'll see what they can do about that. And then I also got my book of the month order. This month I got 2 books because I wanted to get more, but I was like, calm down. So I got Into Stormy Weather, which I feel like everyone in the world has been talking about this book, and I am super excited. I believe this one is also set in Florida, which is going to be a fun time. And another book I feel like is very popular, and I did not realize it was this short, and that's Everything Was Beautiful and Nothing Hurt. I am hoping this is going to be like the feels. Like, let me have feelings. I don't know. But yeah, so we got some new books. and I will be able to spend less time talking about them in my book haul, which will be coming very soon. I think I'm just going to wait until the end of the month or so to film it, because I realized that my last book haul went up, I think, like a month or 2 months ago, and I don't want to have a book haul every month. I'd like to wait at least 3 months, but I have been buying more books than, I don't know, usual. I want to say more books than usual, but is it? I don't know. I have a book buying problem. Like, let's be so for real. But it could be worse. It could be something else. It could be drugs. It could be gambling. You know what I mean? It could be something that's like detrimental to my health. And buying books makes me happy. And then I get to read them and I get to be happy. And then I see them and I'm happy. Like, it's just, it brings me a lot of joy, seeing the books in my house, knowing that I have them, being able to read a book whenever I want. I think something that always keeps me buying books is because hurricane season here is so long and we just never know when we're going to lose power. I don't need anything to read that book. I have candles, I have flashlights, I have book lights. I don't need anything. I don't need internet. I don't need electricity. I don't need anything to read this book. I can just read it and be happy with it. And I will always have books on hand because of that. Also, we already got into the whole debacle about Kindle. Yeah, I feel like that has triggered me to buy more books as well, because I can't read books on my Kindle anymore. I'm going to get into Dear Debbie, and then I will probably update you guys. I'm hoping to finish this before the end of the month. I have been editing as I go, so it's edited up until this point. And I just spent, I'm sure this will be a 20-minute clip, of course, except for, oh, the clip before this. So I did put in my organization of my closet. That I haven't edited that yet, but aside from that, everything's edited up until this point. So literally I just need to wrap this up. So, Dear Debbie, you know what? Let me get the book so that I can read you the synopsis. Okay, so it says, sometimes enough is enough. Debbie Mullen is losing it. For years, she has compiled all of her best advice into her column, Dear Debbie, where the wives of New England come for sympathy and neighborly advice. Through her work, Debbie has heard from countless women who are ignored, belittled, or even abused by their husbands, and Debbie does her best to guide them in the right direction. Or at least she did. These days, Debbie's life seems to be spiraling out of control. She just lost her job, something strange is happening with her teenage daughters, and her husband is keeping secrets, according to the tracker app she installed on his phone. Debbie's done being the bigger person. She's done being reasonable and practical. It's time to take her own advice, and now it's time for payback against all the people in her life who deserve it the most. Okay, sold. I mean, I was already going to read it because it's Freedom McFadden. This was already on my TBR prior to it being on the Goodreads thing. I think I'm going to go through it with you guys, the new list of bookmarks for Goodreads, and we'll try to get that done in a more timely manner instead of waiting until I have like 3 days left. That's great. Yeah, but it was already on my TBR as soon as I found that it was coming out on my TBR. So I'm hyped about this one because I had no idea what this was about. Like, the cover's giving me nothing. It's giving me a flower. What am I supposed to do with that? So after reading the synopsis and knowing what it's about, I'm ready for this. I'm ready. But I have other books that I need to get read first. So I'm going to try and speed read through those and get to this one by the end of the week. I will try to check in with you guys once I'm at the halfway mark or around the halfway mark, and then I'll update you at the end. And then we only have one more book left to read in this vlog. I may simultaneously do 2 vlogs, but we will have to see how I'm feeling, because like I said, I just haven't been feeling great. But I still want to read some books. So I'm going to leave you here, and I'll see you again when I have something to talk about, Dear Debbie.
Trend. There's no denying that nostalgia is everywhere. Seems like everyone has a thirst for the past, and this summer, so does Big Brother. What does that mean? Well, a new group of strangers from across... Welcome to the season premiere of Big Brother. Summer has officially begun.
I am back to update about Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden. I'm so sorry, but I could not stop reading this book. I got to about halfway last night and then I needed to go to sleep desperately and I just finished it. It was so good. Oh my god. This shit was fucking crazy. Like, what is in this book? Is it crack? Because I did not want to stop reading this book. It was so good. Oh my god. And I think too because like I related so much to Debbie in a lot of ways, and then just the absolutely unhinged advice she was giving in her column, and we get these excerpts throughout. Oh my god. What a freaking ride. In true Frida McFadden fashion, I did not know what the hell was going on most of the time. And even when I thought, like, I was like, oh, that's what's going on. Wow. And then turns out, nope, that wasn't what was going on either. Like, this was so wild. So wild. I cannot believe how good this was. I mean, I can believe because it's Frida McFadden. But what a freaking ride. What a time to be alive. Am I shocked this is a 5-star read? Absolutely not. I love Frida McFadden. I think the lowest I've ever given something of hers is 3 stars. And I'm not even sure if I've given hers 3 stars. I will put on the screen my 5-star reads from her as well as the 4-star reads because her 4 and 5-star reads are amazing. Like sometimes it's just a home run, it is just a hit out of the park, and it's a 5-star read. Other times it's a 4-star or a 4.5 or 4.75, but it is still immaculate. It's still great. I still had a wonderful time reading. Now we are going to be moving on to Verity, and that is going to be the last book for this vlog. And I'm not completely sure what Verity is about, so I'm going to read the synopsis really quick. I'm sure everybody and their mother knows what this book is about. I am super late to the game, but I do want to get this read before the adaptation comes out in a few months. Lowen Ashley is a struggling writer on the brink of financial ruin when she accepts the job offer of a lifetime. Jeremy Crawford, husband of best-selling author Verity Crawford, has hired Lowen to complete the remaining books in a successful series his injured wife is unable to finish. Lowen arrives at the Crawford home, ready to sort through years of Verity's notes and outlines, hoping to find enough material to get her started. What Lowen doesn't expect to uncover in the chaotic office is an unfinished autobiography Verity never intended for anyone to read. Page after page of bone-chilling admissions, including Verity's recollection of the night her family was forever altered. Lowen decides to keep the manuscript hidden from Jeremy, knowing its contents could devastate the already grieving father. But as Lowen's feelings for Jeremy begin to intensify, she recognizes all the ways she could benefit if he were to read his wife's words. After all, no matter how devoted Jeremy is to his injured wife, a truth this horrifying would make it impossible for him to continue loving her. It's a romantic thriller. I am here for it. I am ready. So I will probably not fly through this one as quickly as the Frida. There is something about Frida's books that you just personally, if I am really into it and I'm into like 90% of her books, I will fly through them. Like I literally picked that book up last night and less than 24 hours later it's done. Who am I? So I'm probably not going to fly through this one as quickly. So I will try to update you guys at the halfway mark, let you know what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling. Hopefully I'm not going to DNF it because that'll be really sad. That's when I'll check in with you next. I am back. And I have now finished Verity. Did I come and update you guys at the halfway mark? No, I didn't, and I'll tell you why, because I could not stop reading this book. I started it yesterday afternoon and I stayed up until 4 o'clock this morning to finish reading this book because the things that were happening, I just could not stop. I couldn't. I had to know. And I did tab it a little bit, just a few tabs here and there. Most of it is holy shit, or like it was like funny because there was also some kind of funny things in this book. Like not I don't know how to even like this is a fucked up book. Even the cover, like this whole time I'd be looking at this cover and I'm like, what the hell is that? Like, what is that supposed to be? And now, having read this book, I know exactly what that is, and it's so fucked up. Like, it's so messed up. I hate it. I hate it. But this was a 5-star. This was a 5-star. What a way to end this vlog. I had 3 5-star reads. I had 3 5-star reads and a 4-star. This was a very successful vlog. I am definitely going to do this again. But before I start talking about the vlog and like my overall experience and thoughts, I want to talk more about this book because I have heard for years, such conflicting reviews on this. Like, some people absolutely love it, the twists or reveal whatever blows them away, the writing, and other people hate it. They think it's garbage. I cannot see why someone would hate this other than there is something that's going on in the book, and I don't think it is discussed. It's not in the blurb, so I'm not going to give that away. But there is something that's going on that I could understand, like people being upset about that. But the writing is compelling. Okay, I'm sorry, the writing, if nothing else, is compelling. You could hate Verity and her husband and other people involved, and let me tell you, I hated Verity so much. This book did a wonderful job of taking you on a ride and really convincing you of things, to be quite honest. Like, it brought the case to you and really sold it, really drove it home. And the imagery, like just how vivid this is. Like, for me, I'm a person who can, most of the time I can see what's going on in my head, what I'm reading. And it was easy to do it. And I love books like that. And I honestly, I feel like that makes it translate into a better movie, because if you can already see it in your head very easily, like at least for me, I feel like when they go to make this into a movie, which they already have, it's going to be good. And there was literally there's points in this book where I'm creeped out. I'm reading this in the middle of the night last night and I was creeped out, okay? It's dark in my house and I'm like, is Verity gonna pop out from the shadows? Like, it was good. Okay, this was great. It was easily a 5-star read. And most of the book, I did not know where we were going, okay? I knew something was weird. I knew something was up with Verity. Something was up with this, like, the family. Like, what is going on? But I didn't know where we were going. And I will say, at times, this was very difficult to read. Especially, I'm not a new mother, but I honestly, if you're a new mother, I wouldn't read this. I could have never read this 2 years ago. I couldn't have. It would have turned my stomach. But I will say, there are some things that are a little bit triggering and just kind of hard to read. And there is a little, well, not a little bit. I was going to say there's a little bit of smut, but there's kind of a lot now that I think about it. And it's like almost from the jump, but not quite. And I could have done without that. Honestly, we could have cut a lot of those scenes out. Like, that would have been okay. The book would not have really suffered from that. But that being said, this is my first Colleen Hoover book. And I also have, she just released a thriller, Woman Down. I also have that, and I am fighting to not just go and read that book immediately, okay? Because this was great, and I fear that nothing I read from her will ever top this. All that to say, this is a great book. Overall, I feel like I had a really great time trying to complete this. I wish I could have completed it in the correct time frame, but whatever. Here we are. Books read are books read. I enjoyed my time with all 4 of these books. Homeseeking was extremely emotional and touching and just like deeply profound in a way that I felt was very specific to me, but could definitely be felt by other audiences. Everlasting, I also had a great time with. It was a little bit slow, like it was a little bit slower paced, but that could also have been due to me not being able to sit down and read that all in like 1 or 2 sittings. I did enjoy the story. I enjoyed the love, the relationship that was built over time. I really enjoyed it. It was great. And I'm a big fan of Alexi Harrow's writing. Now that I've read 3 books from her, I can solidify in saying that I do really enjoy her writing, and I will be picking up more books from her in the future. Dear Debbie, not a shock that I love that book. Not at all. I have given Frida McFadden multiple 5 stars in the past, as you will have seen before. And it was completely unhinged. Crazy what is going on. Like, the advice, top notch. So, not surprised, but also still pleasantly surprised that I had a really great time. And then Verity bringing it home with another 5 star. This one did surprise me because, like I said, I had heard from so many people so many mixed reviews. So I was a little bit more apprehensive going into this one, but I'm actually really glad that I actually own this because I loved it. I would have bought this if I didn't, but I also I don't often tab thriller books, and I think it's because it's kind of like a one and done. Like, sometimes I forget and I want to go back and reread a thriller, but sometimes in a thriller book, I like to kind of go along and solve what's going on. And in this one, there was a really great mystery. There was just a lot of things that were happening, and a lot of things that shocked me and just caught me off guard. And I was literally like, oh my God. And I went into it not thinking I was going to tab it at all. I had no intention of tabbing this. And then things just started happening, and I was like, we're going to tab. We're going to annotate this one for sure. So I just really enjoyed my time with that. I enjoyed my time with all these books, to be honest with you. And I hope that you guys enjoyed your time with me, even though I didn't, get it done on time. But I am, like I said, going to do this again for the next season. So we have the summer prompts were released at the beginning of July, and we have July, August, and September to complete them. So I'm hoping next month I'll go ahead and be able to go through because I have not looked at what the prompts are. I have not looked at what the books are for the prompts. So I'm hoping to go through that with you guys first and pick out what books we're going to read. I'll have to see how many I've already completed because, like I said, I don't know what the prompts are. So I'm not sure what books I've already read for whatever prompts, and will fill in the missing gaps. So I'll probably break them down into a couple of videos because I can't imagine only having 4 or 5 outstanding books since it's so early on in the season. Plus, I know you don't get like the last, because I think every month they give you more prompts, so I don't think you get like the last 4 or 5. I forget like how they break it down. You don't get all of the prompts until the last month. So I'm probably going to do a vlog in August and a vlog in September. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will see. Don't hold me to it. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoyed this one and coming and reading these books with me. I hope that you will stick around and find another video to love or see what's coming next in the future. I have quite a few ideas coming up. We are coming into the latter half of the year, and things are going to be both winding down and amping up. Once we get into the autumn season, I don't know what is even going to happen. I have so many ideas, so many fun things that I want to do, and so many books to read. I think that is going to do it for this vlog. I think I've chatted to you guys so much. And yeah, if you made it this far and you don't have anything else to say, although please, if you've read these books, tell me about it. Especially like Verity and the Everlasting, because I feel like those are the two that I'm gonna be like not totally with everybody on. So, but any of the books, Homeseeking, The Everlasting, Dear Debbie, or Verity, those are the 4 books I read in this vlog. If you've read any of these books and want to comment on them, did you like them as well? Were they a miss for you? Please leave that down below. Let me know how you did for your Goodreads season, and if you're going to be participating in the next upcoming seasons. I'd love to know that as well. Or if you want to be friends on Goodreads, let me know. I don't think I have my Goodreads link on here, but I think I will add it now. And if you don't have anything specific you want to say, but you want to leave a comment to help me out, you can just leave Why don't we leave a canoe emoji for Verity? If you know, you know. That's going to do it for this vlog, guys. I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.